Hello everybody, Don't Blink here again with another Battlefield 3 gameplay commentary for you guys, and today I've got a game of Conquest Small on Grand Bazaar to share with you all. I'm using the Assault Kit with the G3A3, equipped with a red dot sight, foregrip, and heavy barrel. And I wanted to talk about this loadout in particular today because I found that it is very, very good with the latest patch that was just released for this game. And you'll notice that almost throughout the entirety of this match, I'm using this weapon in semi-auto firing mode. And I'm going to be talking about why that is in just a second. So first up, the first thing you need to know about the new patch is that you are going to get suppressed constantly. And it's going to have a big impact on your weapon. Previously, it did affect your aim, it did affect your accuracy, and obviously it blurs your screen. But now you get suppressed much more quickly, much more often, and the suppressed effect has a bigger effect on your weapon's accuracy, on your idle sway with your weapon, and it's very, very noticeable. So you have to take that into account when you're trying to decide which weapon to use at any given moment. So the reason why the heavy barrel is now so good, especially on the G3A3, is because it basically counteracts the accuracy loss that you will experience when you're suppressed. The heavy barrel on the G3A3 in particular now reduces your spread by 75% when you're aiming down sights. That is crazy. And the downsides to the heavy barrel on the G3A3 in particular are lower than on, I think, any other weapon in the game at this point in time. You only get a 6.7% increase in recoil, and your hipfire spread only increases by like 14.3%. I think that's the number. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments to this video. But the downsides are vastly outweighed by the upside, which is that humongous decrease in ADS spread. So that means even if you're being suppressed, you are way more accurate than your opponents. As long as you are firing at about the same time as your enemy, you're going to land more shots than they are, especially if you're using the semi-auto firing mode. And I don't know what happened to that guy, but he just flew up into the air. That was pretty funny. So yeah, using the G3A3 with the foregrip and the heavy barrel, the foregrip isn't anywhere near as effective as it once was. It used to be that it reduced horizontal recoil by 50%, I believe. And now it's around 25%, I think is the new number. So it's, half as effective as it once was, which is kind of a downer. But on the G3A3, when you're just focusing on those first one or two shots on your opponents, because you are using that semi-auto firing mode, the foregrip still comes in handy. If you don't have a foregrip equipped on the G3A3, its first shot is basically a laser. It will hit wherever you're aiming. Second shot, much less so. Third shot, even less than that. But with the foregrip, it decreases your accuracy on that first shot by a tiny bit. You get a little bit more spread. But the second shot becomes quite a bit more accurate, and the recoil becomes much more manageable. So as long as you're doing like two-shot kind of taps with your trigger finger, you should be good to go with the foregrip and heavy barrel combo, or at least that's what I've found. So this setup seems to be absolutely fantastic. It's not great in close quarters, just because hip firing does kind of take a back seat with this setup. But as long as you're maybe 10, 15 feet away from your opponent, you should be good to go as long as you're aiming down sights. And as you can see right there, I just blew through those two guys because I'm just so darn accurate with the G3A3. And now that semi-auto and burst fire modes don't jam nearly as often as they once did, this weapon is just an absolute beast in semi-auto firing mode. with these attachments. So I highly recommend checking this loadout out if you're having trouble kind of coming to terms with the new patch and what it's done to the weapon balance and what it's done to the accuracy on a lot of the weapons in this game. I recommend focusing on weapons like the G3A3 with the heavy barrel. Get that accuracy to counteract the suppressive effect, and you'll be golden. You'll be killing people like crazy because they're going to be suppressed, and their accuracy is going to take a sudden downturn. But yours is going to be left mostly unaffected, and that puts you in the advantageous position. So that's basically all I wanted to talk about today. This match ended up getting really exciting towards the end, just because they end up locking us into the B flag, and we reach a bit of a stalemate, and it gets kind of crazy. This is just about when things took a turn for the worse for my team. We all capped the enemy team at the beginning of the round, and then they took one flag back, but then they started to kind of close in around us on this B flag. We get stuck in this back spawn, and things just get crazy. I mean, the amount of action that was taking place at the end of this round is about on par with what you see in 64-player Operation Metro matches, just because everybody was in such a confined space that the number of explosives and the amount of suppression and the rockets and the noob tubes and just everything else, it became overwhelming. But the difference between, you know, this post-patch and Operation Metro 64-player Conquest pre-patch is that I felt like I deserved just about every death that I suffered during this sequence. I don't know, I haven't played any, you know, high-ticket Operation Metro 64-player Conquest since the patch came out. But just based on the fact that frag rounds have been nerfed, the USAS with frag rounds in particular has been nerfed, as well as a number of the other explosives in the game. I'm pretty sure the splash radius for noob tubes and rocket launchers was decreased, as well as the resupply rate for those explosives. So hopefully Operation Metro will be a little bit better in Conquest mode from now on, but you never know. That's one of the things that I'm kind of concerned about with the upcoming Close Quarters DLC, is just, you know, based on my experiences with Operation Metro, it becomes such an explosive spam fest that it's just not fun. So I'm glad that they did take some steps with this patch to, you know, kind of counteract or at least nerf explosive spam. And the next thing that I really want them to work on, and hopefully they will release a patch at the same time as the Close Quarters DLC, is I hope that they work on their spawn points and their spawn system logic and stuff like that. Just because it's still not that great. I know that they changed Karg Island and Tehran Highway around in Team Deathmatch, but you know, the way to fix your spawn system is not to change your maps, in my opinion. The way to fix your spawn system is to actually fix your spawn system. So they definitely have some work to do on that. If they're going to be focusing on close quarters action, they need to have a decent spawn system. And look at that right there. That guy spawned in the middle of like 8 of me and my teammates. So that's a perfect example of what I was talking about just then. But let me know what you think of this new patch, now that you've had some time to play with it, those of you who play on PS3 and PC. Let me know what you think of the upcoming Close Quarters DLC, and let me know what you think of the spawn system in this game. I am very interested to hear your thoughts. But that's it for now, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up, and I'll talk to you guys later. Have a good one. Bye.